Hi you guys, this is Rachel Kirkland, the Modern Shaman. Thank you for being with me for another YouTube question and answer video of the week. And as always, if you are new to my channel, I just say thank you for being here, basically. And I hope that if you vibe with this and resonate in some way and find it helpful, that you share these videos with other people and we just continue to kind of grow in our own spiritual evolution and harmony as humanity. So all that being said, if you want to know more about what I'm about, what I offer in terms of personal sessions, as well as the online teaching. The online teaching, you guys, there is like no better time to do it than when we are here going through this quarantine and basically needing to have a sense of inspiration from home. So if you're interested in growing right now, there are small modules that are like $49, and then there are larger modules that have like 2 or 3 videos with them, as well as the PDF homeworks and downloadable worksheets and practice that are more like $150. So there's a variance of cost and prices that you can find something available at any kind of range that makes sense for you and go at the pace that you'd like, or you can download the whole masterclass. The masterclass curriculum is about a 3-month process, but a lot of us kind of have the time right now. So if this is something that is truly inspiring to you to garner more confidence and techniques, specific, precise, accurate techniques with your non-physical communication and skills in that realm, then go to my online teaching class. It's just on the website at themodernshaman.net, and you can find all the info there, as well as each individual module to download. Okay, now let's get to this question of the week. All right, it says, Hi Rachel, thank you so much for your videos. They are always exactly timed with what I need to hear. That's spirit for you right there. I can't plan that. That's like the master orchestration of spirit in your life, right? Just means you're in harmony and in sync. All right, it says, my question is about pain and loss. I notice I tend to run away from pain and not get into relationships or situations with jobs or other people that I fear might hurt or disappoint me. But I'm now at a point where I want to move forward, and I realize I have to address this pattern and not be afraid of getting hurt. But these thoughts and feelings seem so deep. What can I do? All right, great question. Especially because I feel like right now, so many people on this planet are dealing with a sense of extreme change or extreme loss of the life that they lived before all of the coronavirus and quarantine came into play, loss of physical jobs, loss of their household, or a change in a relationship dynamic. There's a lot of change that people are dealing with, and it's been rocking people to the core. That root chakra is really shaken up, and it's a lot to process. So I think the experience and learning how to deal from spirit's perspective with pain and loss is very relevant for a lot of people right now. So just want to honor the fact that you asked that question. I think it will help a lot of people by your sharing. The first piece of advice that I will give you, I realize is a little cliche, but I have to give it because it's just simply the truth. And that is to have the understanding or the awareness of the purpose of pain or of loss or of cutting back in our life. And this is, if we look at nature, I always get, like right now I'm getting this vision of a tree that's being cut back, pruned, okay, a bush that's being pruned. And this is seasonal with a sense of nature, and we have an awareness of this, especially those of us that garden or that are out and maintaining some sort of care for plants and things like this. Every season, there is a time when the bushes and the trees need to be cut back in order for the roots themselves to go stronger and for the fruit in the next season to be richer or more bountiful. And so we are aware of this process in terms of the way that nature works. Now, our human nature is similar in the way that even though there is pain associated with cutting back or a loss, what would be conceived as a loss, like when you literally cut things off. Again, I'm seeing the imagery of a tree cutting off a branch, to where it may feel painful. If we were able to feel the pain of that tree or the pain of that branch being trimmed off, we might hesitate and cringe at that fact. The same is true in our human lives and our human nature, and this cycle's there where we have a loss of a relationship and it may feel very painful to say goodbye, or a loss of a loved one through a death sequence, and we may cringe again at the sense of sorrow that's involved, or just the heartfelt depth that it is to actually cut something off, cut something back. And yet the larger awareness of truth about our human nature and about the nature that we live in here on earth is that pruning back naturally creates a depth in the roots of our character, our morale, our ethics. It makes us stronger for the bounty of our next season, of what comes in the next cycle of our life. And so if you can remind yourself, or if you can hold a larger awareness of this, it dissipates some of the immediate action that feels like it needs to be taken, or a little bit of fear about the future, or fear of the pruning, because we know that if that is happening, if there is cause for loss or pain, that it absolutely has a purpose, and not just has a simple purpose. It has a purpose for more bounty, for more abundance, for greater things in your life. This is actually not just, law of attraction talk. This is the way of nature. This is the natural cycles on this earth that we live in. And as a part of human nature, we take part in these same cycles. The second piece of advice that I want to give you is a little bit more human and not so focused on metacognition, or kind of the awareness of, or the observer perspective. This one is right here at ya, emotion to emotion, and that is to simply honor your feelings. If you experience the sensation of pain, the sensation of fear, when you honor that, when you look and you let yourself, instead of suppressing or repressing or doing anything to mitigate what you're experiencing, if you just let it be what it is. I'm feeling fear right now. I'm feeling pain right now. I'm feeling sorrow for a sense of loss in my life. It gives a sense of thriving and moves that fluidity through. So it opens the channel of your emotion, just like a literal channel of water. Now here comes my vision again. And my clairvoyance is so strong right now. It's pulling from a lot of imagery here, and I'm seeing two sides of a dam that have been clogged, and when these barriers are pulled up and you just let the emotion be what it is, there's a sense of fluidity and flow to that emotional, and the movement lets you move out of that experience faster, so you heal quicker. You move out of that sense of depression and isolation and an experience of what we would consider a negative emotion, and you're able to have flow into the next aspect, which holds wisdom and an awareness of why you're going through what you're going through. So my second piece of advice is basically to honor the emotion as it stands. When you honor it, when you say, this is what I'm experiencing pain right now, I'm experiencing fear of the unknown, it gives you a sense of detachment, first of all, from that emotional perspective, because then you are the observer of it. You're seeing it, you're validating it, you're also giving yourself freedom to express it without restriction or restraint. And so the energy itself doesn't contract around the experience. You're not clinging to it. You're open here. And again, the floodgates are able to move through that emotional passage much quicker. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that just cracked me up. Because I'm literally like seeing this river, and then quack sounds like a duck. So my imagery goes crazy with it. But anyways, you're able to move through that emotional perspective much quicker, like a duck on the river of your emotional state. And I realize I'm laughing right now, but when you're in that experience, in the totality of it, it can feel very debilitating. Take heart in knowing that you are giving yourself full permission to feel what you feel now, with the awareness that it will move you through that emotional gate even faster. Okay, the third piece of advice that I will give you is to have a sense, as much as you can, of a little bit of thrill, a little bit of excitement towards the change. So once you have an awareness of kind of the larger purpose of the pruning and the cutting back and why the pain is there in the first place, to create a sense of abundance and bounty for you in the next cycle. And then once you have let the emotions flow freely as they arise, having awareness that yes, I feel pain right now, or yes, I feel tension right now, and you've given yourself the permission to express it, the next phase that we will naturally go through, just like a sense of Mother Nature, is the budding, right? Or the vulnerability phase of something new. When the plant begins to fruit and the fruit is just showing itself and budding out on the tree or on the bush and the vine, and it's new. And so this, if we can kind of lean into the aspect of it that has a sense of experimentation with the new, where we have already assessed, like, yes, I feel fear that this may not turn out the way that I desire it to, but I'm going to take a step forward differently than I have in the past. I'm going to give it a try. There's a sense of experimentation with this. If you can let it feel that way, instead of feeling contracted here, and kind of lean into the thrill of the new, thrill of the vulnerability, similar to that cold wind that may brush up against your face when you first step outside. There's a thrilling like aspect to it. Or when you're just about to go over the crest of a roller coaster, and you may put your arms up like, this is scary, but I'm going to lean into it instead of holding on tight to the little barrier that is right in front of you, or that you have, the little brace that's in front of you. I'm going to lean into the thrill that's here. This begins to create a new pattern. Neurologically, emotionally, psychologically, your body begins to realize that you're not responding the way that you have in the past. And you do it little step at a time. You don't have to be amazing at it and be like, woo, the first time through. You can kind of do this the first time through. I am feeling the fear, but I'm going to try this instead. I'm going to try to go ahead and call this person back, even though I have a sense of fear of rejection. I'm going to see if this can turn out differently than it has in the past. I have that experimentation available for me that opens up to the new. Now, if you start to enjoy this and you notice that you have different effects, like because you are starting from a different causal point, the effects are different as well. And so at the end, you start validating the differences. I noticed that this person was actually open to hearing my point of view. They didn't shut me down like I assumed that they would. So you begin to move into that kind of final step of validating the differences in your life. This is what sets a foundation for a new pattern. A new thought pattern, a new neurological understanding of like something can be different, and I am not afraid of what's going to happen because it's actually turning out in a positive way for me. And the budding plant begins to get stronger and stronger. It's rooting itself deeper into that sense of character. I'm noticing that I feel better when I try something new, that I actually feel kind of excited about not knowing how this person's going to respond or not knowing the end of the situation. I can actually be more playful in my personality because I've never been in this situation before, and they don't have the same expectations of me that the people in my past had for me. This is a new chance at life, and I am actually really enjoying that sensation of newness, of creation, that I can be and express and look and do anything I want to because it is completely a new platform for me. And this vulnerability is available to a sense of thriving and pure creation for me, Whereas in the past, that old pattern was something that already had overlaid expectations on who I was supposed to be. This feels even better. So you begin to amplify the things that feel really great. And again, it's laying down a new pattern, because you use the word like, but my patterns are so deep. This is how you create a new psychological, neurological, emotional pattern for yourself. You make small changes of difference, even though you validate the emotion, that's the old emotion, the old pattern, and then you say, but I'm going to try this now. And then once you've tried something new, you amplify the new foundation that's been created by a new response, that cause and effect. Whatever happened differently, you amplify the positive aspects of what you enjoy about the new pattern, the new pattern, the new pattern. And this begins to create a new foundation for you. And pretty soon, that fruit is in full bloom. It is ready to just fall off the tree. It is fully fresh, fully alive, and fully expressed. And I just want to remind you that there's so much available for just the fruit of your creation, that bountiful sense of absolute expression to take your life in any way that you want it to go when you are in times of recreating a sense of life for yourself, of making choices that stabilizes a new pattern that you get to set for yourself that feels healthy and substantial and roots you down into the deep core of who you truly are and what you came here to be. I feel inspired by your question. Sending you blessings. Mwah. We'll be back here next week for another video.